Hello and welcome to LIS 4930 Introduction to Visual Analytics. I will go quickly on the syllabus and I will talk about what is, later on I will talk about what is visual analytics, why is it important, what are we going to do in this class, and why is it so important. The main text that we're going to read in this class is called Now You See It, a simple analytic techniques for quantitative analysis, and this is by Faux. I also add another two more textbooks. One is free and you can download it from visualanalytics.eu, which is a European website, and you have the download of the book. And the other one is Visualize This. This is a guy from the open source R community, and this is really fun and interesting book to read. I highly recommend that if this is what you want to do, and I will be able to persuade you why is it so important. So as you can see, we have you're going to create a blog, you're going to submit your assignment through the blog. I don't want to see that on the in Microsoft Office. I want to see it on the web, and you're going to have a weekly assignment. We are going to have quizzes just to see where you are and to help you if you are you do not understand something. Will give me an opportunity to help you or to clarify things that might be of trouble. You also will have a student's peer review. We're going to use an application that I developed this summer, which is called Visual Peer Review, where you will be able to review your peers and be able to look inside the visual peer review and be able to apply that. I will delegate a half a class next time about the tool and how to apply that. And then the final project is 60% of the grade, where you're going to I will post the outline of the project later on this week, and you will see what does it entail. So this is the outline of the course, but we need to start with what does it entail, why is it so important, and what is visual analytics. So in today's social media, there's a vast amount of data that are generated by machines, but also by humans. How many of you can count how many times Facebook generate comments or images that we shared with our friends? So this is something that we are encountering, and many companies, researchers and institutions try to understand, is there is a logic or there's a common goal behind those posting, behind those images, and this is part of what is the visual analytics does. So the term visual analytics, and this is one of many definitions that we will encounter in this class, is called the science of analytical reasoning to facilitate by interactive visual interface. So the idea here is that we will use visual interface in order for us to make sense of the data. But visual analytics also started as scientific application, and we will see that, and we will talk about what is the scientific aspect of visualization, and we will see what does it entail. And so one of the basic definition of visual analytics says that it consists of data, visualization, knowledge, and models. And we will talk about that, but before, we will need to understand what is visual and what is visualization stands for. So the idea of visual is to form a mental image or a vision of what it represents. And the visualization is the process of representing an abstract data as an image that can be aimed in understanding the meaning of the data. This is quite hard. You will see that, and we will experience that when you apply different software application. And I did not talk about that. We will learn how to apply different application in order for us to generate visualization. We will learn about information visualization, that stands for abstract data through the use of interactive visual interface, as I repeated earlier. And we will learn what is it stands for and how to apply that. We will learn about data visualization and interactive visualization. We will learn how to apply visual interactive, and you will learn to do that in one of the software application, and you will be able to generate visual representation where the user will be able to play with your visual and be able to learn more about that. So the issue is with interactive is that we are looking for the human input and the response time, and we will see how software application apply that and what do they provide instead. But we need to start our conversation with regard to basic terms: data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, and how it come together with regard to visualization. So the term data is usually regard to the idea of facts. Facts about, example, how much coffee do you drink a day? So we will count the amount of coffee that I drink every day. Information is the higher level, and knowledge is a higher level than the information, and the wisdom is what are we going to do with that. Example, are we going to drink only good coffee because I'm addicted to coffee, or I'm going to drink cheap coffee in order for me to save money? So there is a lot of things going on here that it's not one dimension as you can see. But the idea here is that the data is the foundation of our field. We are looking at data as a number. We are looking at information as the meaning of the data. And in traffic light, the green light means go, the red light means stop. So this is the data that we see that we can provide interpretation or meaning to it. The knowledge is what the traffic light, and I'm driving towards it, has a turn red. What does it mean to me? What knowledge could I do with it? And the wisdom of it, I better stop the car if I don't want to get into an accident. So those are the things that we will learn to use, and we will learn how to apply in order for us to visualize it and to make more sense. We will see the idea of visualization in different forms, from data set, large data sets, and even to the stars. And I know that this week we are going to see some extraordinary things happen in the skies, and we will learn how to apply those things. So data is all around us. What is it exactly? Is data that is assigned to a thing. For example, your grades. Example, your money in your bank. Or example, how many tweets did you tweet today? That is a data, and this is what we will do with that. So the definition of data, according to Wikipedia, is a general concept referred to a fact that existing information or knowledge is responded or coded by some form of suitable for better use or process. So we are measuring data by numbers, by text, and even images. So data can be sorted. What does it mean sorted? We can sort it in a database. We can sort it based on analytics or statistics. We can sort the data based on a theory or a model, and also based on human experience. Example, library is sorted the data based on human experience, and compared to Google that has a model that saw the data based on human experience. So those are the things that we're going to see and going to experience, and we will see that through visualization eyes. So today's settings, there are 700 million people posting messages and pictures on Twitter alone. I don't have a Twitter. Don't look at me at Twitter. I don't have an account. But if you do, Twitter is one of the things that people like to see how they react and how they correspond with the announcements. And numbers, this is another issue by itself. Numbers cannot speak for themselves. So the issue is, how can we make sense of those numbers? So our challenge, as we are going to attend this class, is to create visualization or visual analytics that will embed all the characteristics of data, information, knowledge, and wisdom in order for us to make better decisions. So what are we going to do in this class? We are going to learn different spreadsheets. What is a spreadsheet? You probably heard about Microsoft Excel, but we're going to see also Google Spreadsheet. We are going to see Open Source R and many other platforms that provide us some form of Excel as spreadsheet. We will also learn about design visualization principles that apply to analytics. And we will also apply basic statistics and inferential and predictive analytics to make or to create those visualization. So our goal in this class is to understand, to makes the visual analytics effective through the study of the core principles. We are going to look, I expect you to have critical evaluation of visual representation of the data. You're going to learn that by applying those principles to your peers and see what is it that they did well and how did they did that, and be able to inspire you to create better visualization of visual analytics. So it's going to be also hands-on. So in this class, we are going to use a lot of software applications. So I highly recommend that you will prepare a good desktop or laptop that you'll be able to work, because otherwise you will run into problems. We will also learn in this class another application comes from the art and art making, which is Adobe Illustrator. So we're going to incorporate the visual principles to build interactive visual analytics of your own data. And so my concern or my obsession with application of visual application is the open source. What is open source? Open source means that the source of the code is open for everyone. Everyone can take your code, everyone can use the application for free, but you need to create your own take on the visualization or the analysis in order for you to claim that this is your work. And this is a challenge. This is my challenge to you, that you will be able to take something that exists and make it your own, customize it to make it your own. As I said, we are going to look at two applications. The spreadsheet, it is the workplace or the worksheet that we use to analyze our data, where the spreadsheet is basically a table of values arranged in row and columns, and each of those arrangement has a relationship with other values. A little bit history. In 1869, in England, the post office serving bank, when you came to the bank, they used to have a paper that you had to sign your name. There was a clerk that signed your name, asked you to sign, gave how much money you entered the bank, and by doing that, it was basically how we are doing now Excel or any other sheet, because this was with a date, the date of the person came to the bank, the amount, the signature of the clerk that accepted the money, and the official signature that stamped the deal. Otherwise, we do not have any records of it. Nowadays, we have, this is, a little bit of history. In the mid-70s, there was the first, before Excel, there was Dan Brecklin came up with the idea of the first electronic spreadsheet, and this is it. This is how it looks. It was very, not sophisticated, but it was really interesting to see. We do not have any records of it, but it's still important to see what it came out. I hope that you are all familiar with Microsoft Excel. And Microsoft Excel has a lot of good features and a lot of bad features. What example of bad features? It's automatic. It's like you don't know what you are entering, and it's automatically fill out the cell for you, which is bad. And you do not have the ability to customize your cell or the visualization you are creating from it. And so I hope you are familiar with it. I hope that, like myself, hate Microsoft Excel. But there is also other platform, example Google Doc. And we will learn how to use Google Doc, and we will use a Fusion table to see what does it entail and how to apply that. It will be fun because you'll be able to, one of the things that Google did so well is the ability to take this data and convert it into map if the data has actual address in it, and be able to apply that. I'll show you how to do that, and it will be interesting to see that. Another application that we will, many of my students like, is Plotly. Plotly basically is on the browser. It's a spreadsheet, and you are able to define what does it entail. However, it doesn't allow us to hold a large amount of data. If you have records of more than 2 million records, Plotly will not be able to hold it, because this is the maximum that the browser can hold. And so there's good things and bad things about Plotly, and we will go over that. My obsession is with open source R, and I will show you what I'm doing with it. It is application. You will need to download the open source R, or nowadays it's called the RStudio, to your computer in order for you to apply that. And we will learn what it entailed and how to do that. So in this class, we will talk about the spreadsheet. We will talk about row. We will talk about columns. We will talk about cell. We will talk about range and what does it entail. And we will say about what is label, what is value, what is a formula. What is a formula in Excel, and how it applies to visual analytics. But we will also look at visual program that is designed not for people like us, but for artists and graphic designers, and how do they apply the visual analytics into Illustrator. And we will learn about that, and we will see the result. You will produce the result out of it. So why do we visualize data? We are visual creatures. I know that I grew up watching TV, and I'm sure most of you did the same thing. So we like to see things in motion. We like to see visual instead of actually reading the book. And so as a result, visualization helps us to make sense of things that we are accustomed to do not understand. So we see things and we want to make sense out of it, and visualization helps us. As I said before, one of the definitions of visual analytics is the definition between scientific visualization and visual analytic. Scientific visualization is a structural data. It is idea of how we are applying scientific models and statistical models into it in order for us to make sense. compared to visual analytics is the combine different type of data together in order for us to make more sense. Example, the analysis of faces versus data versus records. This will be a visual analytic project in compared to scientific model that usually it's very structural data that consists of observation, recording data, and so on and so on. Qualitative information is the idea of what we are seeing in the past, or what you have probably learned in high school, is the idea of building tables or creating basic histogram or bar chart. And those are very easy to make. But do they communicate what we want to communicate? And does it communicate efficiently? That's the issue that I want you to start thinking about in this class when we are talking about the visual analytic. Is it communicative enough? And I want you to evaluate your peers based on those criteria. Do you actually communicate what you have found? And do you communicate it efficiently? Numbers, as you can learn, numbers can lie. And as we can learn, there's a lot of literatures on the subject. We learned from it from the last election that we thought that one candidate will win when the result was the opposite. So numbers can lie, and people learn how to understand that, but people learn how to manipulate that. But the issue is that visualization can also lie. And this case, one of the example is that in the days of the former Apple CEO, he lied about the shareholding of Apple. And I don't have the right visual aspect, but is that really affect what's going on? And in this example, I think this is a bad example of visualization. We do not see the Asia because it doesn't reflect on it. We see the Americans, we see the European, but we do not see the Asia. So Asia data does not reflect here. So visualization can also lie. We will learn about that. I recommend you to look at two videos that for me is the essence of our class. One is the person called Hans Rosling. Hans Rosling is a professor of statistics. He is from Switzerland and he died lately, but he created this amazing video called The Joy of Statistics. And I want you to see this video because I think that will make you fully understand why this class is so important. The second video is my idol. Like you have idols like rock stars and movie stars, I have my own idols. And Handley Wickerman is the guy that we will learn how to apply his package called ggplot2. And so he is the creator. The link show his talk. I highly recommend that you will see that. I hope that you will enjoy that. I will provide more information about his further talks, and it will be interesting to see it. In this class, we will not apply two, but we will apply several spreadsheet applications: Plotly, Tableau, and RStudio. My favorite ones, as you probably understand, as probably most of you know me, I will say RStudio is the best one. But if you are like Plotly or other Tableau, it's fine. There are people that use it on a daily basis, and it's for you to become professional in this field. It's good to recognize it. I want to finish up this idea of what we are going to do here. So what is a plot? And in this case, we all know what is a plot. But a plot can tell a story. And a story is what I want you to start thinking about when we are going to do visual analytics. So we have a stage where we start the idea of the plot. We have a climate where the data shows some progress with that regard, where it gets to a higher point, but then there is a fall and there is decline in the data in order to us to show this important visualization to tell a story. So the idea here is that we will need to, plot is organized based on sequences, and we will learn to apply those sequences to make up the story. We will tell a story by using the visualization. So every stage has a sequence. Every stage has the idea, what does it entail? And every stage defined what we are doing in order for us to declare it and in order for us to tell the story out of it. So again, putting the visual into storytelling rhetoric is something that I want you to start thinking about with regard to how you're going to tell your visualization. And of course, I need to end up this module or this introduction with regard to R. R is not it is the 18th letter of the alphabet. Yes, it is. But it is one of the things that we need to remember where it comes from. So it started in 1976 and it started in Bell Labs. Now do not exist anymore. It was the foundation of AT&T. And in doing that time, Chambers, one of the people that work in Bell Lab, created the S language. And because the company Bell Labs were in bad economic situation, they broke it down. And so what happened is that in 1995, two professors from New Zealand, Ross and Robert, adopted this language S and created their own language, which they called, based on their first name, Ross and Robert, R. And so that was the name of the foundation of the R. There is a great video produced by Microsoft Revolution Analytic company called Revolution Analytics. And we will see the Revolution Analytics workplace and what they do, but watch this video and they will tell you what is unique about R and why is it so important to the field of analytics. So what is open source? Open source is free to use. It's free to distribute it. It allows the user to add his or her adaptation, and it receives support from fans and application supporters all together. So it's a community application. It's not company that charge you money in order for you to do that. I want to finish this first module in our class from example from previous students that took this class. And this is one of the first class that Ben he uses Plotly, and that's what he came up with. And with regard to pizza and media outlets for the pizza, this is Kelly Hell. She tried to capture body temperatures and how it combined. The numbers do not match, but it's really interesting to see how she tried to tell a story out of it. And this is from Kenneth Baker. He came up with words from essays, the main actors, and their interaction with regard to tweets. And one of the popular tweets account, he tried to capture that and try to visualize it and what is it mean. And there is a new challenges and opportunities in the fields. And this is from the World Humanities Challenge with regard to visual analytics. And I hope that you will catch up. I will try to post every time then I'll post example of job application or job posting that I see, and I'll try to promote you to apply that if that is your passion. So next thing, the next week, you're going to, first of all, your assignment is to build your blog, and you're going to do that by using Canvas. So you're going to do that via Canvas. And then you're going to tell your first blog and assignment, describe your visualization that caught your eyes in recent years, and read the first chapter from our textbook, Show Me the Numbers. So that's it for this time. I hope you enjoy. I hope that you're going to have a great semester. I'm looking forward for questions. Your objective in this class is to ask questions. My objective and my job is to answer your questions. So until next time, hope you have fun in your first week. If you have any other questions, please let me know and enjoy.